Hey, what's up, HODL fam? Back to the HODL, and we're going to talk about a current event, a current drop that's going on right now. And this is the Artifact Clone X Forging Season 1. Something I'm very pumped about. Button, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I'm very excited to discuss this. This is quite a monumental moment in the NFT. Many used to call it the digital space, but this is like networked clothing coming together in real life, utilizing NFC chips. Before we talk any more about it, let's talk about the history of how this forging came to be with Artifact under the Nike umbrella. So, Kucho, you want to let them know what forging means and kind of how Artifact's been able to put this together?
Yeah, forging is might be a term you've never heard of, right? Especially in the fashion context. But forging originally comes from gaming. So forging is in gaming means to like claim certain weapons or claim certain items in games. What Artifact did is they translated this theme into the fashion world. For them, forging means that you own a digital asset, an NFT, and this asset is going to give you access to a physical fashion item. Before the drop that's going on right now, they've done this many times before. One of the earliest and really innovative drops that they've done that leveraged the forging was the Punks drop that they did. In that drop, they gave every CryptoPunk owner, so the most established PFP collection out there, was able to acquire an NFT, and then that NFT you could use to forge a physical and unique one-of-one sneaker that represents your CryptoPunk. So again, that was one of the earliest ways in which they did the forging, and yeah, they had a big journey from that point on with a lot of different times where they leveraged this mechanism.
Yeah, I've seen those shoes in real life, and in all honesty, they are high quality. They look super legit, and it's awesome that each one is customized to the CryptoPunk that you actually own. And that kind of leads it to what the evolution is perfectly to what's going on that just started earlier this week, which will be going on for a full week. And it's a very exciting time. I mean, we can start them off with what the sneakers are, because as many of you know, Nike acquired Artifact, and ever since then, they've really been utilizing all the resources that Nike can provide to take Artifact to the next level with the physical fashion goods. And so, yeah, let's look at some of these items. Do you want to explain the different brands, Kucho?
Yeah, as a background, I mean, Artifact launched their avatar collection, Clone X. So this is, helping people to represent like their identity in the metaverse, in the Web3 world. It's a 20,000 avatar collection that they did. Within that collection exists 8 different DNAs. You can see all of them listed here, like humans, robots, demons, etc. And for each of these DNAs within the collection, they created a unique fashion collection with, I think, like five, the lowest, I think, is 5, 6 fashion items. And I think some also have up to like 8 or 10 fashion items that they created uniquely for that DNA. In addition to that, and this is something a lot of people have been super excited about. I mean, they have been collaborating with Takashi Murakami already on the Clone X, but also in this drop, they created 2 of the fashion collections in collaboration with Takashi Murakami. One of the collection is the one for the Murakami DNA Clone X avatars. They are only about 100, but then also they created the Murakami Drip collection, and this is a collection that all holders have access to that own an avatar that has a Murakami trait. So these are about 3,000 avatars. So I think it's really cool how, as a holder, you have access to a very innovative fashion collection just by owning the clone of that DNA.
It's really impressive how this is put together. So I'm going to do my best to explain it, and you've actually participated in this quite a few times now, so you can correct me if I'm wrong or provide further detail. But the way that it works is you go to Artifact's primary website where you connect your wallet that has your clone in it which is currently selling for approximately 10,000 US dollars. And when you connect your wallet that has that clone in it, you get the option of minting a variety of NFTs. And these NFTs are basically an image of the item that you will end up getting the physical of at a later point in time. So they look like the t-shirt, the long sleeve. And what you're doing is you're paying a price, which you can see the price is based in Ethereum, which Ethereum at today's price point is around $1,500. So you could do the math on the cost of them. And you're able to mint 2 of every single item. So if you have a robot, you could do 2 of those vests for that price. You would get that NFT into your wallet. And after 1 week of having this time where you can mint as many of these different ones as you want, limit 2 per each clone that you have, at the end of the 1 week period, that is the total supply that will ever be created. And then you will have another week period in which you would claim your items. So in between that time period, you're going to see a lot of secondary market sales, because whoever has the NFT is going to be able to claim it for the physical. And so right now, the only way that you can get these items if you don't have a clone is you buy it on the secondary market, which is like OpenSea or various other platforms where you can buy the NFT, and then you hold on to it. And then when you can forge it, if you have that NFT in your wallet, you will burn that NFT, receive a physical, and you'll get a different NFT in your wallet demonstrating that you forged the NFT to get the physical delivered to your home. And it's very interesting. The supply management system with this is what makes me get really excited about it, because people are only going to mint them if they're seeing, if 1, they really like it, or 2, if they can see a good profit from it. And it makes it very interesting, because some of them, they're very, very limited based on how many clones have that DNA. Like Kucho's reptile there's not many of them, so there's only going to be a few of those. But then others, people are waiting to see how the market reacts. So it's adjusting to what the market demand is, and the supply will match that perfectly. Kucho, there's so much to untail in this, but I feel like we got a pretty good summary going on.
Yeah, something I would add is that something that's really at the core of what Artifact wants to do is they don't see their collectors as consumers. So what they see them more as is distributors. And how you can see that is that you need to own a clone to have access to the fashion items, right? So only clone holders have access to this drop on primary market. And then also the second aspect is, like Button said, you can mint for every clone that you have, you can mint 2 NFTs of each fashion item within the collection that represents the DNA of your clone. And what they say is, 1 to stock, 1 to rock. So what you can do, for example, is get 2 fashion items, and then you might want to like sell off one of them, right? And this allows like people outside of the Artifact community to get into their ecosystem. And on the other hand, if the NFTs are traded above the price that you paid as like the distributor or the collector, then you actually can get some profit out of that. And we've seen that work really well. I mean, with some of the collections. We talked a few minutes ago, we talked about all the Murakami fashion items. So all of those are already traded right now very significantly above mint price. And we've seen exactly this happening, that people outside of the Artifact community are purchasing these items, because they are very collectible pieces. And on the other hand, Artifact holders are able to gain some profit actually by selling off some of these items. Something else I would call out is the quality of the items. Zaptio is one of the co-founders of Artifact. He posted yesterday this teaser of how one of the physicals is going to look like. This is the Undead t-shirt. So Undead is one of the DNAs. And what we can see, a couple of things stand out. On one hand, this is not printed. This is actually stitched onto the t-shirt. So it's super high quality. And also something else we can see, that it actually glows in the dark. So what I would say is Artifact, with this drop, they're not just innovating on the digital side, but they're actually also innovating on the physical side. And I think holders are going to be super happy to have these pieces in the wardrobe and flex them off.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they're aiming for that like luxury level quality. So and it's going to be extremely limited. That's one thing that's for sure, and we'll know exactly how many of them exist in the real world. And the one thing that's very exciting is when you look at like their lookbook and you look at all of their items, all of the items, with the exception of the socks and the hats, include NFC chips. So like if Kucho, if you don't mind pulling up like some of the shoes, in the back heel of the shoe, there will be an NFC chip in which people will be able to scan, and you can verify ownership of the actual item. It will connect to the NFT. There's a lot that needs to be discovered with how exactly this technology is going to work, but it has been explained that as soon as you receive the items from the mail that you ordered, then you will need to connect that physical item with the NFT that you received once you forge them. And some way or another will bridge it together. And there's so many possibilities that could come out of that, including the ability to utilize the clothing as tickets to in real life events. It could also provide additional abilities to verify and authenticate the actual good and the item, where ensuring that when the physical item is sold, the NFT comes with it, so that you know that you're getting the real thing, not some fake fraud Nike Murakami item. So it's very important, and I think that's a big part of fashion with Web3. And I think that Artifact is really pushing to be the leader in this space by doing these types of moves.
Yes, very well stated. And yeah, I think just to wrap up, I mean, the drop has been getting a lot of attention. We see here Artifact being featured on Hypebeast. They've been featured on High Snobiety this drop, and a lot of other news platforms. So it's awesome to see that it's getting a lot of traction. And I think, yeah, probably a lot more attention is going to come to Artifact in the next months, just seeing how they have been innovating, right, on both sides. Again, physical side, digital side, NFC chip, NFC tags, like how to authenticate. So it's awesome to see. Last thing I want to pull up. So if you're curious to find out more about the collection, this is the collection on OpenSea. And yeah, you can filter. It allows you to filter by collection. If you go under to the drop-down menu, you can see the different collections. Like we mentioned, the 10 collections that they've created. And then, click into one of those and see all of the items within that are being traded.
Other fashion brands, or even people who are into fashion, are paying very close attention to see how this all comes together. It's gonna be we're gonna learn a lot regardless, and I think that a lot of people will capitalize from this unique format beyond Artifact and Nike. I think people who are able to take advantage of limited edition minting, that some of them are going to do really well. I mean, those Murakami shoes were almost at 2x from what you're able to mint them for. So that makes it very, very financially fruitful for some.
Yes. Yeah. So Artifact, definitely a brand to follow, not just this drop, but also beyond, especially if you're interested in fashion as a use case of NFTs and how NFTs might be able to disrupt fashion. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and see you guys next time.
Later.